It's good to be back on your screens. Hello there and welcome to the most watched business show in the country. This is the Business Weekly Show here on City TV. My name is Makola. Hit me up on Twitter at @mobodu, and the show is sponsored by Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered Bank here for good. In the next 1 hour, we'll be bringing you all the major business news that made headlines this week. Come with us as we make business news fun again. Are you ready? Let's go. Today's show starts off on a very bright note with a special shout out to our cocoa farmers. They're working hard and making us proud. You know, despite the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, our farmers were able to produce more beans than was projected by the Ghana Cocoa Board. And guess what? It looks like more is even expected before the end of the season.
With about 5 more weeks for the 2020-2021 cocoa crop season to end on September 31st, the Ghana Cocoa Board has revealed that Ghana has already exceeded its targets for the year, which stood at 950,000 metric tons. Currently, the country has harvested 1,033,122.19 metric tons of cocoa. The CEO of Cocoa Board, Mr. Boahin Edu, attributed the successful harvest to measures put in place by Cocoa Board, such as the deployment of extension officers to various cocoa farms, as well as the hard work of the farmers. The last time Ghana crossed the 1 million metric ton mark was during the 2010-2011 cocoa crop season.
Ghana has made a new record in cocoa production. We have broken the existing record, which was 1,024,000 metric tons, and now the new record is 1,033,122.19 metric tons. Mind you, the season has not ended. The season will end on 30th September. So we still have about 6 weeks or so to go, which means that Ghana will be heading close to 1,060,000. And this has never, ever happened in the history of our cocoa industry. It's a wonderful achievement, and we have to say ayuko to our cocoa farmers, and also to thank all stakeholders involved in the industry.
Meanwhile, Ghana will, from the 1st of October this year, begin using specialized electronic weighing scales that will be used by licensed buying companies to address the issue of cocoa farmers being cheated at weighing points. Although the industry regulator Ghana Cocoa Board's official weight for a bag of cocoa is 64 kilograms, the cocoa buyers blatantly disregard it and operate by their own rules by adjusting their scales to the detriment of farmers. Mr. Boahin Edu revealed that his outfit, in collaboration with the Ghana Standards Authority, have secured scales with a weighing capacity of 150 kilograms for the cocoa industry.
We have been able to secure 40,000 pieces of these machines to be, bought by the LDCs. Cocoa Board is off-taking them for the LDCs to be bought by the LDCs, the licensed buying companies, and supplied to all our societies. Therefore, effective from 1st of October 2021, which marks the beginning of the new crop season 2021-2022, Ghana is going to use the electronic weighing scale. That is what is going to be used throughout the whole country.
As we commend our cocoa farmers for all their hard work, we must also ensure that their future is secured. The president last year launched a pension scheme for cocoa farmers across the country, but 1 year down the lane, The National Association of Cocoa Farmers say still no show. They are therefore urging the government to deliver on the promise.
The Ghana Cocoa Board is mandated under Section 26 of the Cocoa Board Law 1986 PNDC Law 81 to establish a contributory insurance scheme for cocoa farmers within the framework of the Social Security Scheme so that they can also enjoy a well-deserved pension upon retirement. Unfortunately, successive governments for various reasons have not been able to fulfill this, and this has led to several calls for the establishment of the Cocoa Farmers Pension Scheme. President Akufo-Addo in December 2020 launched the scheme after he directed the Cocoa Board to work earnestly with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority and other stakeholders to set up a Cocoa Farmers Pension Scheme upon the assumption of office.
The Cocoa Farmers Pension Scheme is one such example. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cocoa farmers across the country who are responsible for the production of a crop that has for over a century been the mainstay of the economy of our country. They have worked hard to provide us the income with which we have built our nation's infrastructure and its most important educational institutions.
The scheme, which is to support cocoa farmers enjoy a decent pension, is yet to be implemented, and members of the Ghana National Association of Cocoa Farmers are not happy.
Almost every government that has come and gone has come and never addressed or implemented it. So we know this thing is going to be the same. So we've decided, and we are reminding our leaders that if they do not implement this, we cocoa farmers will also think and take decision of ourselves. We advise our leaders, especially the Nation Authority and Cocoa Board, to make sure this thing will be implemented. We don't want to have problem. We don't want to be giving promise, because we know he did this at the time of election, hoping to get our votes. That is why he did it. So he should make it come true.
The leadership of the association has made some follow-ups in getting the government to fulfill its promise to cocoa farmers. The association says it will advise itself if the concerns are not addressed.
If government fails to implement it, this association of farmers, we are not against the government. No, we are not in opposition. We are there to see and seek for our welfare. So if government refuse or fail to do it, what we have decided, we have given him up to October 1st. We cocoa farmers, almost about 56% of the local food produced to the country is provided by us. We will seize it. We will not provide any food to the cities and the towns. We make sure it works for 1 month. And besides, we will also mount billboards in every corner of the country, written Nana Akufo-Addo Adada pension scheme.
We earlier mentioned that Ghana Cocoa Board has already exceeded its cocoa beans target for this year. And as a country, we pride ourselves with premium quality cocoa. But as we boost our quantities, we must ensure that we do not lose sight of it. I'm sure this is why the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Ofri Akoto, is urging the newly inaugurated board of the Quality Control Company Limited of the Ghana Cocoa Board to ensure that they preserve and improve upon the quality of Ghanaian cocoa beans.
Cocoa from Ghana continues to enjoy a premium place on the world's commodity markets because of its unsurpassed high quality. The premium quality cocoa beans still continue to be the preferred choice of all chocolate and beverage producers of high reputation and distinction. This status has diligently maintained over the years through effective quality assurance practices of the Quality Control Company. The company, a subsidiary of the Ghana Cocoa Board, performs the role of inspecting, sampling, grading, sealing and disinfecting cocoa and other produce for licensed buying companies. The board, which supervises these activities, has been tasked to ramp up their efforts in ensuring Ghana's cocoa beans are ranked the best in the world. Here is the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Kotu, speaking during the swearing-in ceremony of the 5-member board of the company.
The job of Quality Control Company Limited is to ensure that this high quality is maintained or even improved upon. You will see that countries which, in terms of volumes, do as much or better than us are also tending to adopt the methods that we are using to improve the quality of their beans. And in recent years, for instance, Cote d'Ivoire's quality has been going up because of the adoption of the practices that we have here in Ghana. So you have a very heavy duty as a board. Recently, certain innovations have come into the industry because of the consumer preferences for all kinds of both environmental, social, all kinds of things. And companies are now in the position to train a group of farmers to have even better quality than the standard, and they pay a premium for that. So you'll get to know about all these new emerging practices, and I'll urge you, given the weight of responsibilities that have now been bestowed on you, to be very conscientious in your work, to collaborate very closely with the management, and to try to understand, those of you who are coming into the industry for the first time, to try to understand what is happening so that you can guide management in the right direction.
The new chairman of the board, Dr. Ebenezer Owusu, accepting the duty bestowed on him and his colleagues, pledged his commitment to ensuring the smooth running of the sector to bring value to all actors in the industry.
Reaching the top is a monumental achievement, but remaining there may be the most spectacular feat of all. For this reason, we as the board of directors, we are going to ensure that the premium quality that Ghana's cocoa beans enjoy will continue as a preferred choice of all chocolate and beverage producers of high reputation and distinction.
Members of the board are Dr. Ebenezer Owusu, who is a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana, Legon, serving as the chairman, Dr. Berima Frane, a senior lecturer at the College of Health Sciences at Legon, businessman S.B. Kambere, Kweku Opon, also a businessman, and Julius Mark Kojo Opoku Martinson, the acting managing director of the Quality Control Company.
The other time, I went to get some foodstuffs for the house, and I was so surprised at how expensive they had become. 1 finger of plantain, 4 cedis, 3 tiny tomatoes, wait for 2 Ghana cedis. I mean, as I say, Charlie, the chalk money they give madam for revise some apple. That's really hard, though. But you know, interestingly, a commodity analysis company, Soko Ghana, is predicting that food prices are likely to drop by the end of the month. That's a better drop. They can't drop what they come.
According to research done by Isoko, a 91-kilogram bag of cassava was selling for 206 cedis as at 21st January in Takoradi. By July 21st, it shot up to 247 cedis, 50 pesos. In Tamale, it increased from 185 cedis to 226 cedis in the period under review. A 100-kilogram bag of maize sold for 234 cedis as at January in Takoradi and shot up to 420 cedis by July. In Tamale, it increased from 190 cedis to 294 cedis, while in Techiman, it increased from 191 cedis to 301 cedis. For local rice, a 100-kilogram bag in Tamale increased from 415 cedis to 450 cedis, whilst in Techiman, it recorded a significant increase from 397 cedis in January to 904 cedis in July. 100 tubers of yam weighing 250 kilograms sold for 797 cedis in January. As of July, they were selling for 956 cedis in Takoradi. In an interview with City Business News, content manager at Isoko, Ghana, Francis Dansoeje, explained why food prices will go down by the end of August this month.
No, we expect that by the end of August, going into September, the market signals that prices will be dropping, because then we would have completed the southern production in the southern part. And so it will start hitting the market to at least bring down the prices.
On what can be done to ensure all year-round food production and price stability, Francis Dansoeje had this to say.
There is basically about 3 things that we can do. One is to try and then produce all year round, which means that we will need irrigation and then some other forms of technology, greenhouse and all that, to help us produce all year round, especially the vegetables and we can produce. Now, when it comes to our post-harvest management, we also need to do something about it. What happens to the produce once they come onto the market? The ones that we cannot consume immediately, we need to either process it or put it in a form that we can use later on. And then we also need warehousing, especially for the cereals, to be able to store them so that they do not get spoiled.
Still on commodities, you know how important onions are to our local dishes. I am yet to see a meal prepared entirely without it. So we'll be telling you about how much they are sold for, where we get them from, and the entire business of it.
Onion has tremendous market potential in Ghana. It is consumed widely across all households. The country's expanding hospitality industry also offers a huge market for the produce. However, according to the Greater Accra Onion Importers and Sellers Association, most consumers in Accra, Ghana's largest consumer market, prefer onions from Niger due to their yellowish color, better taste, and larger bulb sizes. Zakaria Salisu is an onion trader with many years of experience, and he explains to City Business News the different types of onions that are sold on the Ghanaian market.
We have different types of onion. We have Niger onion, we have Nigerian onion, and then we have Aflau, the one they bought from Aflau. So this season is their season, but the Niger one is now going. The Aflau one is now coming in, but the Aflau ones, it won't last. It will last for about 2-3 months, then it's gone. You see, so we have, and then we have this thing. The red one also came from Algeria, coming in. We have different types of onion. If you don't know inside, you will say it's all one, but they have different. They are different onions.
He further explains how the value chain operates.
We have those who we've been working with them. They from Niger coming down here. When they brought it to us, then, as I said, we are selling this 5 million. Then we have our this thing here. When we sell it like 4.8, our share is 12 cedis. Each bag is 12 cedis. When you sell each bag, you take 12 cedis from it. That one too is the same like the Niger one. Those who were living at Aflau and then the airways, sometimes they brought it here and then they give it to us and then sell it.
Not long ago, these onion sellers were relocated to Aje Kotoku. What has been the experience so far?
The moment we moved from Agbogblochi, we relocated from Agbogblochi to this side. Then it moved 5.5, 5.2, 5.5. Then it comes down again, 4.85 million. Onion business is not unlike other businesses. Onion business is like it's like season. You know, like if you are getting to December, that's the time that the onion is higher, and you've been getting something from it much than this time.
Monica has been an onion trader for 6 years and talks of how she and the family have depended on it. She, however, laments recent increases in prices of the produce, which she attributed to the relocation.
The first year was, far truck, on my 7 CD. Until I have say far, about 25. There was saying they require about 2. The 2 I had to moon to me talk. If I say I mesh you, na miss some basket. First, no, a bill or more basket and maybe 40 Ghana, maybe 45. She said they require. I was say a decacaba to so basket, or say 60, almost in the boy a day, or more to me talk. And I would on 60 now, a bill or a best scan for paper, who near profit. Bag say, a bill or better 4.5, a bill or better 5 million. If you over 4 million, price the banya be 2.5. If you have 2.5, if you are 2 million, if you have 2.7. Hence, to say then I had double. Near no stick out of a
For the Secretary of the Onion Association of Ghana, Osman Mohammed Sidi, governments must invest in quality haulage trucks for the transport of the commodity across the country, as the constant breakdown of the trucks eats into the lifespan of the perishable commodity.
Trucks. We have been talking to the haulage owners to be repairing their trucks due to that damages that they are causing the onion people. Yeah, we are expecting that the market will boom during the festive season. So we are expecting that. So we hope that will also happen.
According to information from commodity analyst Isoko Ghana, a 73-kilogram bag of onions at Takoradi Market in February this year was selling at 450 cedis. In August this month, it currently sells for 600 cedis. In Ashiaman main markets, the same bag was selling for 342 cedis in March. It currently sells for 566 cedis.
You remember I mentioned earlier that I bought 3 tiny tomatoes for 2 Ghana cedis, but I'm sure that I've gotten so much more during the bumper season. But you know, this cycle has been going on for as long as I can remember. But some farmers in the Ashanti region are proposing a solution that can help address the shortage during lean seasons and also end the over-reliance on imports.
In recent times, prices of commodities such as onions, soya beans, tomatoes, and many others have increased astronomically. As a result of this, consumers have raised a number of concerns. According to the national chairman of the Ghana National Tomato Traders and Transporters Association, Eric Osei-Tufo, the price increment is as a result of Ghana's inability to grow these farm produce all year round, which has forced farmers to buy from neighboring countries such as Burkina Faso. He says, for instance, during the season when Ghanaian farmers start producing, that is from mid-year to the end of the year, a box of tomatoes costs between 300 and 600 cedis, but this shoots up to between 600 and 1,200 cedis from January to May in most cases when the produce are largely imported. The stakeholders have blamed this for the recurrent price fluctuations. As part of efforts to stabilize prices of tomatoes all year round, the association has called on government to support farmers by building more dams in the southern parts of Ghana, where tomato production is predominant. This, he believes, will support farmers grow tomatoes all year round, which will in turn stabilize prices.
At the moment, you know, tomato is a seasonal crop. And in Ghana, during the lean season, we face so many challenges. What are the challenges that we are facing? During that period, we don't have enough tomato in our country. So we normally travel to the nearby, our sister countries in West Africa sub-region. We go to Burkina Faso, we go to Niger, we go to Cote d'Ivoire, struggling for tomato during the lean season. So I'm using this media to appeal to His Excellency Nanado, as he has already started doing it, to give us more dams, more boreholes within the southern sector of the country. When I mention the southern sector, Tiobodom, Techimentia in the Bono East region, you go to Fetenta, Jenny, they are capable of doing tomato business. They are capable of growing tomato. What are their challenges? Their challenges is water. They can't get water during the lean season. So they have to find some means of giving them boreholes so that they can grow tomato all year round. That can feed the country without any difficulties.
He added that they are optimistic that prices of tomatoes will begin to fall from now to November, since Ghanaians will be producing within that period. Some traders spoke to City Business News.
Yeah, why Ghana had mana you don't toast and Mr. Chua Bodom, Akuma Dine, a bono area bebre, you don't toast. Omo need dam, nibi or honma, omo a bayad, a near man, a bribia, my said a bayer. A boy be jina fa kwa na se bibisa so what you say nti e besra ban se na dawroma ogusua wo boye de onno mwanto asifo na yeso omododo ni nyina nya dam ni bi na muaye na bia ne se mu ye kwoboki na ne adi anrobesi kobubo boye ma ni bi tuo ane adi ekunkuma dawafo bebre ti se dam ne wo ha sei and the year Jumano Yenya be our hanka yin chasa quino, bebreveni cosiasa and Quasiano and Fama.
Free July, August, September. And it told us July, August, you could and Tosinigan and Tosinio. And she and Tama and Tosinanya, the Anya to Tosi Warden. Says I make us and Tosini Tosini Woodham. Baby, I'm tossing baby, I'm going to be a da and I bet and a ho and sincerity a melee any at all. Timmy, yes, I can buy a down my enya. Can toss the boy and then in your coffin because I buy a down. I bet him at Yamako. You better join Adua, you better join tomato, you better join Kuruma. Then you're down, bet me. I Sato should get in, and I'm say buy a down. I might trust to get in your board.
Now, to some Ghana-China trade. Do you know that for this year alone, over $4 billion worth of transactions have been carried out? This is quite fascinating, especially considering the impact COVID-19 has had on our economy. It clearly shows that both countries have some level of interdependence. Despite the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the global economy, bilateral trade between Ghana and China continues to grow. His Excellency Lu Kan, the Chinese ambassador to Ghana, revealed that the value of trade between Ghana and China in the first half of 2021 alone was over $4 billion. This, according to the ambassador, is an increase by almost a quarter as compared to last year. The ambassador further stressed his country's commitment to growing its bilateral relationship with Ghana. He spoke during a symposium organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs on Forum on China-Africa Cooperation as a vehicle for infrastructure development in Africa.
The economic and the trade exchange between China and Ghana has been flourishing. China is Ghana's biggest trading partner and foreign investment source. In 2020, the balance increased instead of reduced despite of the pandemic. In the first half of 2021, that means the first half of this year, the bilateral trade volume amounted to $4.382 billion, a year-on-year increase of 23.8%. The China invested airline company, power plant, steel company, ceramic company, cement factory, tomato juice factory, and paper diaper factory make significant contributions to creating jobs and promoting developments in Ghana.
Still on China, did you hear that they closed down one of their ports because a staff there caught the virus? Is that not like carrying a sledgehammer just to kill an ant? Or it's more of a once beaten, twice shy experience for them? Well, for our traders down here, all they care about is the fact that this could likely affect the cost of doing business. Already, they are battling with the increase in freight charges, which was effected recently. Services were cut on Wednesday at a terminal at Ningbo Shushang port in China after a worker was infected with the Delta variant of COVID-19. Ningbo Shushang in Western China is the world's third busiest cargo port. Economist Dr. Lord Mensah says the move by China may be justifiable.
They understand the dynamics, and we shouldn't take it for granted that China was where the whole COVID started from, and they saw the impact. So if they have, recorded a single case in a port which is more or less commercially viable, and I understand that is one of their biggest, ports, then obviously they may have to close to look at, the way forward.
A significant portion of Ghana's total imports is from China. Hence, the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA's concerns. President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obing, isn't too pleased with the development.
It is going to put another layer of burden onto the stress of doing business, especially under the huge effect of COVID, which have seen problems with logistics, especially with containers for the shipping lines and all that. So having closed such a major port in China, is one of the biggest ports and all that, it means that it's going to put a lot more pressure on the other ports, logistic-wise, in terms of containers, movement of goods from Ningbo to other areas, which will also add up to the cost of doing business. And so it is not interesting at all. And so we wish that the earlier they open it, the better for us.
Some argue, though, that this move might be just China flexing its economic superpower muscles again. Dr. Lord Mensah seems to agree.
The flexing of the economic, superpower. China's export and import is very huge across the globe. If you narrow it to Ghana, that's the largest import source, about $4 billion and over worth of import that we do from China. So obviously the understanding is clear. This virus has its own biological implications, but then we should also understand that there is an economic undertone to it.
Local consumers might be indifferent towards the global power play, but it does appear they might bear the brunt should the port closure drag.
The factors of costing, these are part of it. And that one is nothing that anybody can do without adding to the final price. And so definitely when it leads up to cost, then of course it will the ripple effect will get to the final consumer. And that is for sure. But as to how negligible or significant it is, it depends on the difference in price that will bring to bear.
Still on the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, it is calling on the government to bring it to the table as it rolls out the One District, One Factory initiative. According to GUTA, the people who would sell the produce manufactured by the factories are key to the success of the project, hence their appeal. The Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, is calling on the government to align the trading community to its One District, One Factory initiative. GUTA argues that, as traders, they can play a significant role in the success of the program, adding that they can serve in the distribution of products from the factories. The One District, One Factory initiative is the vision of His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to change the nature of Ghana's economy from one which is dependent on import and export of raw material to one which is focused on manufacturing, value addition and export of processed goods. Earlier this month, as part of the project, the President commissioned a 7.3 million Ghana cedi rice processing factory at Savelugu in the northern region and a $16 million Wedi Africa tomato processing factory at Domfete in the Puno region. President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obing, stated that his outfit is committed to ensure the 1D1F project is sustained.
I'm very, very happy. These days I can see that government is opening most of this. It means that it has started bearing fruits. I've seen a couple of them being commissioned lately. But what I want government to do is to rope in the trading community, because if it will be a success, much depends on the trading. Manufacturing is never complete unless it reaches out to the final consumer, and the trading public serves as the vehicle to do just that. And so, yes, we have to commission these projects, but we have to be educated on these product quality, pricing, and the incentives that also are to be derived from this locally made product, and it should be sold to us. So that's why I'm saying that government should make a conscious effort, much as is trying to open or commission these factories, should enrope in the trading community to make the success even well pronounced.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. City TV, it's your world.
Do you remember the fire outbreak that occurred in this very building here at Makola in Accra? It was one heck of an inferno, such that it took several days to completely douse. But what now happens to the building and to the traders who used to do business there?
A report put together by a team tasked by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to probe the fire incident recorded at the Makola market on July 5, 2021, has revealed that the inferno was caused by a faulty generator. According to the report, the generator caught fire when a trader attempted powering it while lights were out in the area. The fire quickly spread through the three-story structure occupied by traders who dealt in hair and cosmetic products. Presenting the report compiled by the ad hoc committee, Mayor of Accra, Mohamed Ajay Sowa, said the building will be pulled down on Sunday, August 22, as the Ministry of Trade and Industry prepares to compensate affected persons.
We've reckoned this area with the military, and they've identified a few shops that are very close to the building that they must evacuate before Sunday. So our team of officers went round to speak to them, and then we've agreed with the traders that they have to give way for the pulling down of the building on Sunday. The owners of the building are happy with the decision that has been taken, and they've been very supportive throughout this exercise. We'd like to thank them so much for their support, and then hopefully as the Ministry of Trade package comes, that will be comforting enough for all of them.
President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Joseph Obeng, told the press the Ministry of Trade and Industry has given assurance of a timeous payment of compensations.
I hope in the coming days, they will also, in a ceremony like this, also talk to the victims about the comfort that government is going to provide for them. But for us, in this whole thing, we want to take advantage to thank the mayor for his timeliness, because he's done really well. This is about the first time that a few days after fire disaster, we have received a full report that also provides solutions. The recommendations in there should be tied up with other solutions that we have or recommendations in other reports.
The 2020 Auditor General's report made the trends this week for obvious reasons. It released some findings that implicated a number of government agencies. Some have mounted spirited defense against these findings, but we'll see how all of this pans out in the next couple of days. But one of them is the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC. They were cited in the report for carrying out some transactions without parliamentary approval, but GNPC thinks otherwise. These transactions amount to over $34 million. I'm sure as for this banter, you'd also want to know how it all pans out at the end of the day.
The findings relating to the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation GNPC are captured in the report of the Auditor General on the public accounts of Ghana's public boards, corporations and other statutory institutions for the period ended 31st December 2020. According to paragraph 686 of the report, contrary to provisions in Article 1815 of the 1992 Constitution, the Auditor General noted from the sampled records reviewed that the GNPC signed and awarded 5 international business contracts to 5 foreign suppliers or contractors using single-source method in 4 of those transactions, and in one instance used the restricted tendering method without seeking for the necessary parliamentary approval. The 5 contracts totaled $34.165 million and about £465,000. Some of the transactions cover the procurement of a contractor to acquire and process 2D seismic data over the Voltarian Basin for GNPC in 2015 for about $33.9 million, as well as the development of a brand architecture for GNPC and Explorco in 2015 for about £417,000, amongst others. According to the AG's report, the sourcing of such contracts via single source and restricted tendering without parliamentary approval denies lawmakers the opportunity to make inputs towards such transactions, which could plunge GNPC into paying for higher contract sums and possible judgment debts. The Auditor General has thus recommended that management of GNPC should be sanctioned in accordance with Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, as amended, for breaching the public procurement law. But in a rejoinder to the report, the GNPC states that Article 1815 of the 1992 Constitution pertaining to parliamentary approvals for international business transactions strictly relates to quote-unquote government business and not generally to statutory corporations set up for commercial purposes. The rejoinder goes on to state that the GNPC Act PNDC L 64 establishes the GNPC as a distinct legal entity and as such is not legally considered to be part of government. According to the GNPC, the requirement to seek parliamentary approval for the 5 transactions referred to in the report does not apply to them, and they therefore request that the Auditor General correct his findings and conclusions as soon as possible. The GNPC finally urged the Auditor General and his staff to cultivate extreme diligence in their duties to avoid embarrassing themselves and the state entities they audit.
Still on the 2020 Auditor General's report, a lot of the issues that have spun out revolve around the internal audit service, and they say management interference in their work is one of the limitations to their effectiveness.
The 2020 report of the Auditor General covered institutions like public boards, corporations, ministries, educational institutions, and district assemblies, among others, for the period ended 31st December 2020. Various types of irregularities, including outstanding debt, cash, procurement, and tax irregularities, among others, led to a loss of about 12.8 billion Ghana cedis in 2020, a jump of about 130% from the 5.4 billion recorded in 2019. Speaking on City TV's Point of View program on the irregularities and the role of internal auditors in preventing same, Dr. Eric Odruosai, the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, blamed the scattered nature of internal auditors in the country for their inability to carry out their mandate.
The challenge internal auditors in this country have is that they are under different institutions. Okay. So the internal auditors within the local governments or the MMDAs are under Office of the Head of Local Government Service. So they are subject to their conditions of service. Those are the ministries are under Office of Head of Civil Service. Those under the corporations and statutory institutions like GNPC, Graphic, etc. are under SIGA. Now, when they are scattered like that, they are subject to different conditions of service, and the people they are expected to check, they are the same people who determine their conditions of service. So then it becomes extremely difficult for them to act. I must say that most of these infractions may have been seen by the internal auditors, reported on it, but management in this institution have just failed to implement the recommendations. The solution then is move all these internal auditors from these institutions, create an internal audit service, put them under that one, give them that independence and objectivity they need, then they can bite the
They are not looking over their shoulders.
Dr. Simon meanwhile added that steps are currently being taken to establish an agency that will supervise the activities of all internal auditors in the country. On his part, tax analyst and senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Law School, Dr. Abdalali Nachia, is warning that the release of the Auditor General's report is likely to become a ritual in the coming years if the right institutions are not made to implement the recommendations captured in the reports.
You rightly said, I am at pains at having audit and all that being a ritual. I have always indicated with the Office of Special Prosecutor, I thought we would be able to rationalize some of these infractions and get him to investigate and prosecute. As we indicated on the surcharges, I was also looking for areas of a surcharge, and as Dr. Sain said, maybe the fear of people going to court to get it set aside. But indeed, if we would use the proper mechanisms and get the rightful institutions that can prosecute to take it up and pursue for the recovery of the monies, then we will be giving meaning to the audit reports. Else it becomes an annual ritual which brings nothing back into government coffers. We need the revenue that has been misapplied. If it is a loan, remember taxpayers' money would be taken to go and pay back the loan. And so it is public body, we need to retrieve them. If Public Accounts Committee goes through this audit report, it is incumbent that respective institutions with the power to investigate and prosecute be made to take it up. And we shouldn't let it be as a sweeping under the carpet as it has always been. Because the trajectory of the years from 2016 to 2020 is showing us that we are not making headway, with the exception of the few that we saw a dip in 2020.
The African Continental Free Trade Area After Agreement promises to be a blessing as it seeks to address various trade concerns and barriers amongst member countries. But there still are concerns like that of the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, who says Ghana risks being overshadowed by other African countries if the government does not make efforts to help local businesses stand out. How else can they be competitive amongst member countries who have access to cheaper credit and power?
The African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA, is a trade agreement between 56 African states that seeks to remove various trade barriers to improve trade amongst member countries. The agreement is arguably the largest in the world, with an estimated market of about $3 trillion. Ahead of the Ghana Industrial Summit and Exhibition, which is scheduled to take place from 17th to 19th August at the Accra International Conference Center, CEO of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chumakwabwa, tells City Business News businesses which partake in the sessions will be well equipped for their entry into AFTA.
The whole opportunity that is going to be created is that a platform that is going to be made available will enable people to engage and discuss possible areas of interest. Where are the opportunities? You need to know. There will be a lot of presentations about the areas of opportunities. There are studies that have been done that is pointing to specific products for specific countries that Ghanaian companies can actually target. There are also studies that have been done that is showing the threats, where the threats are, which countries are really a strong threat to us. So in discussing all this, you as an individual company, you have the opportunity to know where you position your company to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are created.
Mr. Chumakwabwa further added that the government needs to be swift in devising a strategy to put businesses in Ghana in a better position to benefit immensely from AFTA.
Industrialization is a process. It starts from a point and it continues and it's changing every day. If you look at the dynamics in West Africa, Ghana is one of the countries with serious industrial concerns. So Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and then Senegal is also coming up. So if you look at, you talk of the countries with good manufacturing concerns within West Africa, Ghana is one of them. When you go to the larger Africa, there are other countries that are stronger than us. The South Africans, the Egyptians, the Moroccans, and all these countries, they are stronger than us. Kenyans, they have stronger industries. So if we are opening the market up, you can enter into the West Africa market because you have some opportunity and leverage over them. But then the other countries also have bigger strength over you, so they are also coming. Ghana needs to have a strategy for entering NAFTA. We've been working with the Ministry of Trade. They are developing one. They said they are almost finished. They are going to actually adore, not to launch it, but to talk about it. The key areas of strategy that government of Ghana is looking at to support Ghanaian industries to go after. And you need to know all this, because if it falls in your area, you really push to get the opportunities that are in there.
Civil society group Oxfam is giving a fresh push for the passage of the tax exemptions bill. Despite all the efforts that were made, the previous parliament could not pass it. The bill seeks to regulate how tax exemptions are given in the country and also seal all the loopholes that cost the government a lot of money. Isn't it interesting that something as important as this that can help improve upon the country's finances is not being treated with all the urgency it deserves? And a contract anchor we approved long time.
The tax exemption bill, when approved by Parliament, is expected to harmonize the tax exemption and incentives regime in the country and help make it more efficient. It will comprise tax waivers given to local and foreign companies to encourage increased investment and more foreign direct investment in the economy. In 2019, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta laid the tax exemption bill 2019 before the 7th Parliament for approval, but the 7th Parliament never worked on it until its lifespan expired. Under the Legislative Advocacy Project, the Tax Justice Coalition, Ghana Anti-Corruption Campaign Coalition, and Parliamentary Network Africa have commenced Phase 2 of a campaign to ensure the passage of the tax exemptions bill. According to the Programs Manager of Parliamentary Network Africa, Gilbert Boyfew, the latest push is to bring finality to the quest of ensuring that the country has a firm tax exemption regime in place.
This is a very important bill to the economy of the country. I am not a tax expert. Fortunately, we have the expert in the house and we have our consultant in the house to tell us more the significance of why we need such a law. And so our expert, fortunately, is going to educate us and rally all of us here towards pushing and working towards bringing the bill back to Parliament for consideration and passage.
Consultant to the project, Vitus Azim, is of the view that the draft bill, which was not passed by the 7th Parliament, must be strengthened in several areas before its reintroduction and eventual passage.
The bill is well intended and contains good provisions that seek to protect Ghana's revenue base, its base, not basis. However, there are certain concerns that need to be brought to the attention of both the executive and the legislature. The bill states the objects of this act as follows: to rationalize the current exemptions regime by varying, where necessary, and consolidating existing statutory provisions on exemptions. 2, to provide for the administration of exemptions. These are the 2 that are in the bill. I am suggesting, these were highlighted, red, I don't know, because of that is not. I have suggested 2 more to curtail the country's tax expenditures that drastically reduce Ghana's tax revenues without showing clear benefits. D, to subject any conflict of inconsistency between the provision of this act and any other enactment related to exemptions to this act.
Tax analyst Dr. Ali Nacher Abdullah further lamented the inability of the authorities to ensure proper monitoring of imports and exports in the country.
We have to stop interfering with them, that allow them to clear and powers that be. That is what we need to stop. I'm sure if you don't qualify for an exemption, it falls on Madame's deck, she won't mind you. Then pressure will start coming on her. That is where the monitoring is going. That's what Mr. Azim mentioned. If a letter is given to the community, these items are coming to you, they have approved, and they arrive, and you ask them to come, and then you are not monitored. If you had monitored, you would have realized they qualified, they've gone through everything. All that is necessary is Ministry of Health to clear and hand over to them. So I think monitoring is very important. For me, that it should be the beginning before we can even talk of this bill and amendment. The monitoring would have brought out all the issues that we need to address in the bill.
Well, too soon, our time is up. Thank you for tuning in to the most watched business show in the country. This is the Business Weekly Show on City TV. My name is Makola. Catch you same time next week. Hit me up on Twitter at @mobodu. Don't miss out on the Business Dashboard, 10 p.m. sharp every weekday with a repeat at 7 a.m. the next day. And our website, citybusinessnews.com, has regular business news updates for you. All right, stay safe, stay informed, and bye-bye. Okay, nice one.